Hello, my name is Keith Haswell. I'm a professional astrologer with 40 years experience in the business now and over 30,000 clients worldwide. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this video on connecting with your higher self. This video would have to be probably the most important video that I have ever produced. And I just want to take you into a deeper level of consciousness here in this video. So just sit back and relax and enjoy the journey here with me. You know, we're all on a journey. It's a journey of consciousness expansion. It's a journey that lasts forever. And we have all signed up to come into incarnation and to go through a series of lifetimes in order to be able to achieve that goal of expanding our consciousness. It's a very, very exciting time to be alive because we're working more and more into the subjective side of life. We have all been through a tremendous expansion of our consciousness just through the technology that we're able to take advantage of in this particular era of our human evolution. To think that I can talk to you on this video and within hours I can have it uploaded to YouTube and it can be accessible and watched by thousands of people all over the world is just an incredible feat of technology when you think about it. So we are living through an era of a massive expansion of the release of knowledge into the world. And we're all on this path of growth and we go through it in each lifetime. We recapitulate our gains from our past lifetime and we then pick up where we left off in that last lifetime. And that growth is a stage of evolution of consciousness through the infancy stage of the first 18 months. We're loading things in and taking things in, and then the stage of the infant and the child from 1.5 to 7 years of age, and then we really start to express ourselves. And then we're through our education, we're taking knowledge in about mathematics and speaking the language and writing and reading and so on and so forth. And then we start going more and more out there into the world and we find out about the opposite sex in our teenage years and our adolescence, and there's a massive explosion of our hormones and we all know about the chaos that's involved there. And then we start to get on to the human potential movement. And from 18 to maybe 24 years of age, 26 years of age, we're working on the human potential side of our souls. How can I get that job? How can I get that car? How can I get that relationship? And we're working on that stage of our human potential movement. And the girls go through between 22 and 26 years of age a tremendous urge to bring forth children. And the boys go through a tremendous stage of wanting to find a mate and to build a home and to have a family unit and belong and so on and so forth. So we're all fulfilling our various needs through the houses of our horoscope, our personal power, our financial security, our communication skills, our belonging in a home environment, our social life and having fun and expressing our love, our meaningful work and keeping ourselves healthy and being of service, and then to find a mate and to have a partner and someone that we can be intimate with and can get to know, and who can get to know us in return, and to make change. The desire for change inside of ourselves comes through the 8th house of the horoscope, and then we have a tremendous urge to expand ourselves to new horizons and to become more of who we really are. And we do that generally through travel in the early 20s and so forth. We can't wait to get overseas and witness other civilizations and cultures, and then we get home and we start studying on the philosophies of life and the religions of the world and so on and so forth. We have a tremendous urge to be well thought of in the community. Our esteeming needs are very, very important to us, and we do that through our career and business, and aspiring to high achievements in the career and business. And we have a sense of wanting to belong and to experience group consciousness as we go on into our late 20s and so forth. And so we want to belong to a group, and we want to belong to a club, and we want to have and experience group consciousness. And then we want to start learning about the art of solitude and to be able to take advantage of solitude. So all of this is in the human potential movement, and wanting to get that car, get that money, get that job, get that relationship, get that family, get that house, get that trip overseas, get that business, get that group of friends and so forth, have that social life. This is all part of our human explosion and expansion of our consciousness. And then we get to the stage where we want to start, there's got to be more to life than just owning this car and having this job and having this these nice clothes and having this social life and this club activity and having this business and so on and so forth, having this relationship, having these children. There's got to be more to life than this. And so we want to start then delving into our metaphysical potential. And we start working on our self-image, how we feel about ourselves, and the love that we have for ourselves through our self-esteem. And we want to build our self-confidence. We want to become more of who we really are. So there's got to be more to life than just these things. And so we want to start making changes in the quality and our principles and values, and becoming a trustworthy person and a reliable person, and having integrity, and developing those principles and values there inside of ourselves in terms of self-love and self-esteem and self-worth and self-confidence and self-image and so on and so forth. So we turn to that metaphysical potential, and that is generally between the ages of 30 and 45, 50 years of age and that sort of thing. And then we come to a state in our growth and development and expansion of our consciousness where we say, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. I just know it in my gut that there's got to be more. I want to know about the meaning of life. What does it mean to be a human being? Where am I heading in my growth and development? I've improved my level of self-esteem, I've improved my self-image, I've improved my level of confidence and so forth, and I would just know that there's more to life than just this. And then we turn to a very exciting stage in our development, which is our spiritual potential. And that's where we start delving into the meaning and the purpose of life, and that's where we can become at the stage where we can form a relationship with our higher self. And we say to ourselves, there's got to be more there than just me. And so we start to want to build that relationship with the divine. We want to start building a relationship with God, Goddess, all that is. How do I go about doing that? Just start to ask yourself. And maybe you've had quite a few crises by this time in your life. When you're 40 to 50 years of age, your relationship perhaps hasn't worked out the way that you wanted it to, and you've had crises with your health, and you've had crises with children, and crises with parents, and crises with business and career and finances, and so on and so forth. We all go through so many difficult experiences in life in order to be able to project ourselves into ourselves, and in order to be able to project ourselves into that solitude, that desire for solitude, and that meaning for life, that aspiration towards the divine. Now, the most important thing to understand is that when you first started out on this human potential movement and this human potential growth and development within yourself, you had no idea about where it was going to lead you. But you went along for the ride, and you researched this and you researched that, and you found ways of improving things here, and getting that car, and getting that job, and getting that relationship, and getting that circle of friends and so forth. And it was an adventure for you. And it's the same with the metaphysical potential. You had no idea when you first started this metaphysical potential of wanting to improve your self-image and improve your level of self-esteem and self-love and improve your level of self-confidence and so forth. You had no idea about where it was going to lead you. And it's the same with the spiritual potential. It's a path that leads to mystery. There's 4 ways of developing that spiritual potential there within yourself. First of all, there's giving love and receiving love. And I've spoken on other videos about giving love and receiving love. The second way of developing a relationship with the spiritual side of yourself is through developing the valued self. And that I'll cover in other videos as well. The third way is through personal excellence, developing personal excellence, and I'll cover that in a future video for you. The fourth way is developing a relationship with your higher self. So welcome to this video. Now, the psychologists of the world will say, yes, you have a higher self. It's a technique. It's a technique of doing this and doing that, and thinking good about yourself and improving your level of self-esteem and all this sort of thing. They want to just say that it's all just a technique, your higher self. But techniques don't hug back. Techniques don't care. And your higher self hugs you back, and your higher self cares about you. Now, there are different ways of developing your relationship with your higher self. You're on the second ray of love wisdom, and you grow and reach and stretch on that particular ray through developing wisdom. And you have experience in life, and that experience in life, you have already had a whole bunch of experience in life, some of it not too nice. And the path to wisdom comes also through an intake of knowledge. You're never going to develop wisdom just through experience, and you're never going to develop wisdom just through an intake of knowledge. You develop wisdom through a combination of experience and an intake of knowledge. You're on the second ray. You're on the second ray of love wisdom. So you are on the path that I am on. And that's why you're watching this video. That's why you're attracted to my teachings. So now that you've been through the human potential movement, and you've been through the metaphysical potential movement, and now you're in the spiritual potential side of your development, it's important for you to understand that our way of doing things on this second ray is by developing a relationship with our higher self. And this is what I want to talk about here. What is your higher self? Your higher self. Now, I've got to be very careful here that I don't go too deep, because if I go too deep too quickly, I can turn a lot of people off. So I just want to try and keep this video as an introduction to your higher self. But your higher self is a piece of God and Goddess. All of us have a piece of God and Goddess inside of ourselves. And that is our higher self. Our higher self is all that is for us. And we are on an eternal journey with this higher self. But you have that higher self who's been that aspect of God, that piece of God and Goddess that you are becoming, and it becomes more of God and Goddess as you become more of it. So it is there as the subjective side of you, as that piece of God and Goddess that you are becoming. And it's very, very exciting, because that higher self of yours incorporates your soul. It incorporates all of the 7 major principles of your being. It incorporates, first of all, your personality. Your personality is conscious mind, emotions, and physicality. It incorporates your soul, which is your higher mind, your intuition, and your spiritual will. It incorporates your spirit, which is your what's called your monad, or your spirit. And that is the highest aspect of yourself. But the whole is what your higher self is. The whole that is greater than the sum of the parts. So it has brought you through hundreds of lifetimes. It loves you, and it wants you to become more of it. You are the one, though, with the conscious mind. And it has brought you through hundreds of lifetimes to get where you are today. So how do you develop a relationship with this higher self? Well, first thing that you've got to do is to master the science of meditation. The science of meditation is the means whereby we connect with our higher self, with our soul, and with our higher self. Now you ask yourself the inevitable question, how do I know that this higher self is real? How does my higher self communicate with me? Well, your higher self communicates with you, and your soul communicates with you through your feelings. And what is the greatest feeling of all? Love. But in order to develop this relationship with your higher self, you must believe that you have a higher self. And the way to go about that is through an intake of knowledge. There's no shortcuts. You can't just say, well, I just want to focus upon developing a relationship with my higher self. I just want to focus upon the love. I just want to focus upon God, Goddess, all that is. Don't worry about my higher self. I just want to focus upon God, Goddess, all that is. It won't work. In order for you to develop wisdom, you must have that experience and also that intake of knowledge. And out of that comes wisdom. And you can only develop wisdom through those combination of 2 factors there. You can't just do it through love. You can't just do it through aspiration towards the divine. Oh, I'm just going to love God and Goddess, love deeper and deeper and deeper, love God, Goddess, all that is. Don't worry about my higher self. I'll just love God, Goddess, all that is. You're not going to get there. You've got to have that intake of knowledge. And that's where my intensives come in. I've been saying to you on all of my videos and all of my CDs and all of my communications with you that it's vital for you to put yourself out and to get stuck into my intensives. I give you 12 CDs of my first book, what really matters about astrology, meditation and reincarnation, I give them to you free of charge. I do your horoscope for you free of charge. I've done 121 videos. So all of these are all free of charge for you to help you to become more of who you really are. Apply yourself to that and realize that this is where you are heading in life. You have got an opportunity to make this life a lifetime that counts. You've got an opportunity to make this a meaningful life, a life where you can take a gigantic step forward in the evolution and expansion of your consciousness. And as you take in this knowledge about astrology, and as you start to look at your horoscope more and more, to understand more about the location of the planets in the certain houses of your horoscope, which I do for you with horoscope number 2, for a mere pittance you get a beautiful 20-page horoscope that's all about you, not just your sun sign or your rising sign. And that helps you to understand that, hey, astrology works. This is divine planning that you can witness there. And that drives you on to want to know more about this God, Goddess, all it is, to want to know more about this higher self of yours. And then you start delving into reincarnation and you find that, yes, I can relate to all of that, and it makes sense when I understand the methodologies of how it all works and how it all functions. Yes, I can accept that. And what does that do for you? What does it do for your self-confidence? What does it do for your self-image? What does it do for your self-esteem? What does it do for your self-love, the love that you have for yourself? It increases that. And you want to know more, and you want to know more, and you want to know more. And so you get into the science of meditation, and you start doing regular meditation, 15 minutes a day. That's not too much of a sacrifice to devote to your spiritual growth and to developing that relationship with your higher self. 15 minutes of regular meditation over a long period of time. And then you gradually start taking in that knowledge and increasing your understanding about the way that it all works. And then you start to communicate and contact your higher self in a real and meaningful way. And what starts to happen then in your life? They start to communicate with you. They start to communicate with you first through your feelings. And then you know what happens? They start to create little coincidences in your life. Strange things that happen where you go into a full parking lot and someone just pulls out as you're driving in. You could have driven around for 20 minutes in there looking for a parking spot, and someone has just driven out and put a place there for you. Little coincidences, like you're thinking of someone and the phone rings and there they are on the phone. I was just thinking of you. And you start to think about these little coincidences that happen in your life. You wake up in the morning and you say the time on the clock is going to be 7:24 or something like that, and you look at the clock and it's 7:24. You think, wow, that's one of those wow moments. And then they start to communicate with you with more and more little coincidences, and then the miracles start to occur. And you start to realize that, hey, my higher self is communicating with me through these coincidences and through these miracles. And as you get deeper and deeper into the science of meditation and you start getting in there into your safe place and linking up with your higher self, you start to go deeper into deeper levels of consciousness and you start to communicate with them. How do they communicate with you? They communicate with you through your imagination. So you imagine that they're communicating this with you and that with you, and that opens up those channels of communication there between them and you. They're not going to just all of a sudden make an appearance in your life. They have that ability, they have that power to be able to manifest themselves right in front of you right now. your higher self in physical form, manifested right there, right now, that you can hug. But they won't do that, because that would scare the daylights out of you and perhaps cause you to have a heart attack. So therefore they have to communicate with you in a soft and gentle way. And as you get deeper and deeper into meditation, you feel the love. You feel the love, and you feel their communications coming to you. And then you start to become a co-creator with them. And you start to realize that, hey, I can ask them to help me. I want to create this, or I want to create that. I want to create this job interview being successful. I want to create this relationship turning out good. I want to create this improvement in health for my mother or my father. I want to create this financial abundance. I want to create this relationship going well. I want to create this outing going well, this social activity going well, this night out or whatever. And it turns out good. And you say to yourself, wow, my higher self is helping me to create positive events in my life, miracles in my life. And these things keep on happening, and these coincidences keep on happening, and the meditations become deeper and deeper, and the miracles start happening in your life, and you are creating the reality through the cooperation with your higher self, and they're co-creating your reality with you. And then you learn to be able to go deeper and deeper and deeper into meditation and deeper into co-creation. And you find that you can have impact in the life of other people so much as well. You can heal this person. You can have this person's financial circumstances turn out better, and you can help other people in their job interviews and so forth. Hey, I got that job interview. You told me that you were going to program it for me, and it did. It worked out great. It was an amazing coincidence. And then you find that as you go deeper and deeper and deeper into co-creation with your higher self, you find that you can have impact on the outcome of world events. It's absolutely incredible what power that you have inside of yourself. So I've spoken for long enough here. This is just an introduction to your higher self. Creating a relationship with your higher self is the most important decision and choice that you will ever make in this lifetime. So I urge you to really knuckle down. And you've had the experience, and a lot of the experience is very painful. Now take in the knowledge, because wisdom is the goal there for you. And you have all of these raw materials, your attitudes, your beliefs, and your thoughts and your feelings that are sponsoring decisions and choices, and those decisions and choices are not very helpful. And you can change those decisions and choices by changing those raw materials, changing those attitudes, changing those beliefs, changing those thoughts, changing those feelings. And they can sponsor more positive choices and decisions in your life. And then the raw materials will create better desires, better imagination, and better expectancy. We've all got the same raw materials. We've all got the attitudes and beliefs and the thoughts and the feelings, and they sponsor decisions and choices. This is the way that reality works. You are creating your own reality. The object of the exercise is to do it more consciously. You are now doing it subconsciously. So take back your power of conscious choice. I'm trying to communicate something to you here that I know. I don't just believe, I know. My state of consciousness is such that I have the intuition developed, and that intuition is a state of knowing. And I have the spiritual will developed. And that is a state of spirituality and spiritual being. So look, I'm trying to communicate with you and to say to you that there is a better way for you to live your life, by connecting with your higher self, by developing a relationship with your higher self. I offer my intensives as a way, not the only way, for you to grow and reach and stretch to become more of who you really are. But put your birth details in to my website. I'll happily do your horoscope for you free of charge and send you a whole bundle of goodies. Subscribe to my videos because I'm putting out new videos all the time. And let's work together as a team to help you to unfold that wisdom that comes from experience and the intake of knowledge. So I thank you for your attentiveness here, and I look forward to working further with you should you decide to join me on this wonderful journey of magic and miracles, to unfold your goodness, truth and beauty, to unfold your power, strength and talent. Thank you.